In your opinion, what differences in the two videos could lead to misunderstandings among people? Yes, greetings. How do Indonesian children greet older people, and how does that differ from how children in other countries greet older people? In this video, I will discuss an example of a misunderstanding in cross-cultural communication, specifically regarding how to greet others. In Indonesia, from a young age, we are told to greet older people in a polite manner, such as saying hello, bowing, and kissing their hand as a sign of respect. This custom has become part of our culture and is seen as a way of showing respect to older people. However, in some foreign cultures, particularly in the West, the way people greet one another can be quite different. Children typically greet others in a more casual manner, such as with a handshake or even a high five. In their culture, this is not considered rude, but rather demonstrate familiarity and self-confidence. Problems arise when these two cultures meet. For example, a child from abroad comes to Indonesia and greets an older person with just a handshake or a high five without kissing the hand. For the child, this is normal. However, for Indonesians, this can be seen as impolite or disrespectful to older people. This misunderstanding arises from differences in cultural values and customs. In this context, there is a distinction between high context and low context communication. Indonesia is a high context culture that places great emphasis on norms, politeness, and proper conduct, particularly toward older people. Meanwhile, Western cultures tend to be low context, where communication is more direct and less bound by complex social rules. Additionally, we can also observe the concept of stereotyping, where Indonesian might immediately assume that the child is being impolite, without understanding their cultural background. These stereotypes can develop into prejudice, a feeling of dislike, or a negative judgment toward the child. If this continues, it can lead to discrimination, treating the child differently, such as avoiding them or failing to respond in a friendly manner. To avoid this misunderstanding, it is important for us to be more open-minded and understand that every culture has its own way of showing respect. We shouldn't immediately judge someone based solely on their custom. Furthermore, when we find ourselves in a different cultural environment, we also need to learn to adapt and respect local customs. With good communication and a spirit of mutual respect, cultural differences won't be a problem but rather an opportunity to learn from one another. In conclusion, differences in the way people greet one another are not the problem. Rather, it is a lack of understanding that often leads to misunderstandings in cross-cultural communication. Thank you.